G'day to all my friends and family, and welcome to Jim's 5am Club. I'm just testing out my new iPhone. I've got the iPhone 12 Pro Max with 512 gigabits of memory. So I thought I'd just test it out here in the front yard and kick off with another 5am Club. Even though it's evening, it doesn't matter, because when we record it, it's all relevant, and it's 5am somewhere in the world. Anyway, what I want to do today is I want to take you through something that I picked up in a book, a wonderful book summary entitled Superhuman Social Skills, and I'll just read you the quote because it's just so pertinent to our lives and something that we all need to be aware of. And I'll just go for a walk and talk out the front of the house. So the quote is as follows: when you are introduced to someone or put into a social situation where people don't know you, your first goal should always be to convey as quickly as possible what makes you interesting and what makes you worth knowing. How powerful is that? I know there are a lot of people who will arc up when they see that, because it smells of opportunism and, you know, somebody being desperate. But the reality is that in today's world, where we don't have much time, to impress the people around us, because I think I read somewhere where it said, I think it was a Google study, actually a Google study said that our attention span has reduced significantly over the years, and I think they said that our attention span now is only about 7 seconds. So just taking that into consideration, the suggestion is that you've got about 3 to 5 seconds to make an impact on the people around you. And this is a very, very big marketing message, of course, an advertising message, and the marketing people and the advertising people have known about this for years, and that's why they've got catchy sort of tunes to capture your attention, and they make their point very, very quickly before you just scroll on and move on. So one of the things that I've tried to do with the Jim's 5am Clubs is I've tried to incorporate a visual as well as a message, where my goal has been to try and highlight the beauty of Sydney. And you've probably seen, if you've been following me, that I've spent a lot of time videoing and taking clips around Sydney Harbour, around Circular Quay, because I work down there, which helps. But there are some things in the world, some places in the world, that didn't become famous by chance. There are certain aesthetics that we have in the world, which people, regardless of where you live in the world, regardless of which generation you're born into, will always find it beautiful and spectacular. Things like a curved path, for example. Things like a jacaranda tree, a white picket fence like the house across the road, a farmhouse. Now, those things, those images are just spectacular, and they're things that The ancient Greeks talked about it quite significantly, especially the philosophers, where they talked about aesthetics. You know, there are certain cars or certain motorbikes or boat shapes or women, shapes of women or athletic shapes of men. You see statues, you know, and some of those images are absolutely unique and iconic, and they continue to be appealing and beautiful well into the future because of their shape. I guess as human beings, we're attracted to certain shapes, like, as I said before, a curved path, a sunrise, a sunset, you know, the shape of an E-type Jag, for example, the shape of a Dino Ferrari, the colours, just certain combinations. And it's only when you take the time to travel to places like beachside suburbs. For example, I'll go to Bondi, and I realise and I learn that the Bondi is a glorious beach, a fantastic beach, because it ticks all the boxes. I don't know if anybody has seen the $6 Million Man years ago, where he had a bionic eye, and he'd look into the distance, and the eye would just focus into certain aspects or certain features. I guess over time I've caught myself doing that. Like you'll meet a person, and all of a sudden, you know, you'll just focus in on different features of that person, and you're mentally just ticking the boxes, tick, 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 as it's fulfilling different aesthetic appeals that I guess we're all different. You know, we all love different things. As an example, I talked about the beauty of an E-type Jag or a Dino Ferrari, a 246 Dino Ferrari. They're the things that I've grown up with, and my eye appreciates that sort of shape and those sorts of configurations. But other people, you know, you might come across younger people and they say, well, don't like that, you know, it just doesn't do anything for me. But what you'll find is over time that there are certain images that appeal across the generations. Things like the pyramids in Egypt, or the Parthenon, or the Colosseum, or the Opera House. I can never get enough of the Opera House. I can never get enough of the Harbour Bridge. Paula just switched off the lights. Paula! Anyway, well, there you go. The iPhone's great, but it's not spectacular in the dark. So I guess I'll finish it off here. Cut short by the lack of light, but we're trialing the iPhone 12 Pro Max, and it's Dolby sound. It's high definition video. And here we go. I've got a little bit more natural light here, so I'll come out on the street and continue the 5 a.m. club. But as I was saying before, that let's get back to our quote. I went off on a tangent. It's amazing. Well, that's the beauty of Jim's 5 a.m. club, that it's unscripted, it's unplanned, it's unedited, and it's just very, very random. I just kick off with a topic and just talk from the heart, and wherever it leads us, it leads us. But getting back to the book, that book quote that I mentioned before about the importance of making an impact within 3 to 5 seconds of meeting somebody. It came from that book entitled Superhuman Social Skills. Superhuman social skills, and it is a powerful sort of message. So to all the young people out there, I don't know how you take it when I talk like this, but you just got to trust me on this. You know, you've got a responsibility and a duty to make an impact in the world. And when I was young, I was very, very shy. I didn't say very much at all, and I spent more time listening and less time chatting and trying to make an impact. It's only now that I've grown up that I've realised that I wasted many, many years and many opportunities by being conservative, by being quiet, by being an absorber. But on the other hand, you could probably also argue that if I wasn't quiet, if I wasn't an absorber, then I wouldn't have the confidence and knowledge that I've been able to build up on. And now, at a critical time in my life, I'm spending more time now chatting, being extroverted, and living, learning and passing it on. And in some ways I've leapfrogged a lot of other people who were very chatty, very boisterous when they were younger, whereas they've quietened down now that they've gotten older. So I think I'll leave it there for now, but once again, you have a duty and an opportunity, because as the author in that book also mentioned, it says that within a social circle there are net contributors, there are net people who take away value, so people who add value, people who take away value, and people who are neutral, who don't add value. And he said that the people who are neutral from a social perspective are also considered to be a net negative. So your time is limited. So you've got to make the most of the time you've got available to you within a social context. And although it sounds shallow, although it sounds contrived, the reality is that's the world that we're currently living in, and that's the world that we're all living in at the moment. And you've got to make an effort, you've got to fit in where possible, and you've got to make a difference. You've got to matter. You've got to matter to people in order for them to remember you, to recall you, and to want to hang out with you. Because getting back to a quote that I heard many years ago as well by Michael Johnson, the Olympic champion, when he said to Kathy Freeman, he said that you basically need to conform, make an impact before you can become rebellious and funny, and that's a very important lesson as well to understand, that you need, we all need to make an impact to each other in our lives, because we're competing against lots of attention at the moment. There's Instagram, there's Facebook, there's social media, there's a million and one things. There's noise all over the place that is trying to capture people's mind space. So we are competing with many, many channels. So if you want to break through, you want to make an impact, you want to be part of a social circle, as opposed to being isolated and lonely, then you've got to make the most of those initial impressions, because there's a time-old saying that first impressions are lasting impressions. So you have the power, we all have the power in us to make the most of those first impressions. So grab it with both hands, 10 fingers, both arms, and squeeze it, bring it close to you, because we've all got the same amount of time available to us. It's just what we do with that time that matters most. So let's finish off with a positive affirmation on this 401st Jim's 5 AM Club. I'm just so happy that I was able to click over 400 Jim's 5 AM Clubs in English, and now I'm heading to my 500 goal and I celebrated this milestone today by going down to the city and picking up this new iPhone 12 Pro Max 512. Take care everybody, yasas, stay connected, stay relevant, and most importantly, make the most of those first 7 seconds. Capture people's imagination and make them want to spend more time with you and to see the value of your companionship. Yasas in this low light with this new technology, and hopefully the sound, the Dolby sound, is coming through and making an impact. So until we chat again, bye for now. Yasas.